I've never been asked this question, like, publicly. What made me want to apply for MasterChef? It was a unique year because we were all in COVID, lockdown, ample time on your hands, you're contemplating life and what you want to do, and I think a lot of people made some changes during that season. And I was kind of like set on like, you know what, I'm going to just open a food truck. On the one night, I like registered a business name, like applied, like looked at buying a food truck, and then like MasterChef application was like the last day, and I'm like, you know what, Hail Mary, I'll just apply for that. Like I was just like at that stage of life where I was like, yeah, whatever. I've got heaps of time. I was like studying, cooking heaps. It was the weirdest time. MasterChef was one of those things, and then just did it. The world opened up again, kind of forgot about it for a bit, and then 3 months later you get a call and you're like, hey, this is so-and-so from MasterChef. And I'm like, I'm trying to be like, oh, that's right. I thought it was a prank, thought it was weird. They're like, yeah, do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I'll give it a go, and kind of unfolded from there. And yeah, do the auditions, go to Melbourne from Perth. It's a long trip. And that one was a big one because Perth was tight on their lockdown. So if I went to Melbourne, I had to go back and quarantine for like 2 weeks. So it wasn't like a 2-day trip. So I was like, do I really want to do it? And I was like, oh, you know what? I don't think I will. Like, let me think about it longer. And then I called him back and like, all right, I'll do it. Like, and then yeah, went. Rest is history. I never even thought of applying before. Like, everyone would always, like I was always like a keen cook, loved the show. Everyone would always be like, all my mates are like, yeah, you should apply. This is sick. And I'd be like, no, like those guys are good. Like, I don't know how to do half the stuff. And then like I got in, and then it was like, damn, I got to like learn how to make choux pastry, puff pastries, ice cream. You know, it's lockdown. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go mental and just cook. And I was doing it anyway, just to stay sane, like during lockdown. It was like the thing that, you know, it was like therapy for me. So I loved it. Yeah. To be honest, I thought there'd be like some smoke and mirrors, or like you'd walk in and there'd be a little bit of training or something. There'd be a little bit more guidance or something. Like surely these guys just don't walk in and get 75 minutes to cook something. But we literally all walked in. First time walking in the kitchen, I'm thinking, yeah, sweet, like maybe we get a practice cook or something, like just some sort of way to get comfortable here. And it's like, all right, you got 75 minutes to cook. And we're just like, what? Like, we're all standing around looking at each other, and then producer yells cut, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is cool, like this is on. And we're like, it's on? Like now? And then you're just running around, and like the first 10 episodes, I feel like you're just trying to find where the equipment is, and like, where's the salt? You just run, everything's just so manic and frantic. You're like, where's the salt? Where's this? Like, it's just intense. The judges were like, yeah, like you walk in and it's like when you meet, like you see them on TV, and so like you walk in, you see someone in real life, you kind of have this weird, surreal, like you just want to like touch their face or be like, this is crazy. But you play it cool, obviously, like I did. Yeah, they're just lovely. Exactly, kind of like they want you to win the show, like all the producers, like everything's like this. The challenges are hard, the pressure's there, but no one wants you to fail. Like no one wants you to like fall over and completely ruin this. So everyone kind of wants you to like do well, and it was cool to experience that in person. And when you're there, like the emotion, everything, like all of it feels real. And you're in this, you know, lights are on, this bubble, you walk into this kitchen, it's like walking into like a football field or an arena. Like the mentality switches. You literally think like, my whole life, the universe like depends on this plate of food that I'm about to present. And if it fails, I think everything will just crumble and disappear and I'll get swallowed up. Like it's that intense because everything's on, like, you know, it's kind of like that feeling. So the emotion is so raw. It is a competitive show, but it's not competitive. Like every guest chef that comes in, every judge, every contestant, everyone's kind of like on the same team. They're like, hey, this is like how you like get better at cooking food. This is how you get better at like presenting the type of food you love. Like how do you share, like how do you communicate, you know, what you have inside of you on a plate, get a diner to experience that. Everyone's kind of like wanting to do that for you. So you're taken back, like even the contestants, because at some point you're going to be in a team challenge with someone. So you want them all to be like good, because you don't want to be like, oh damn, I I kept telling that guy the wrong recipes or whatever. Like, no one ever does that. It's not like that. It's kind of like everyone's so helpful, so generous. So you walk into like the best environment, just how much like you excel and like how much you grow and how much knowledge you can gain and how good you get in like a short amount of time. I think that blew my mind. Like going from like a rookie home cook that literally never made like puff pastry and ice cream from scratch, like at the start, like most normal home cooks, I think, to like, you know, confidently just, yeah, I can whip out whatever. Feels a little bit like, yeah, I can, you know, I'm not a knob, I promise, but I'm like, yeah, I could make an ice cream. Yeah, how much you gain in that amount, like how much they can pack into that little concentrated amount of time is insane. Like, it's like a lifetime worth of like knowledge and experiences and exposure to chefs and cuisines and pressure. And yeah, that was incredible. Like, genuinely, I thought I could win it, like, when I got into the grand finale. Like, that was when, like, oh, this is a chance. Like, I could actually win, like, MasterChef, which is still a wild thought. But the whole time before that, my mentality was kind of like, just do your best with this cook and see where it goes. Like, I literally went to Melbourne with 2 t-shirts, took 2 weeks of leave, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll be back. And then I was like, hey, can I take an extra week unpaid? And then they're like, hey, you're gonna quit now, or what's gonna happen? Like, and so yeah, my mentality was kind of like, just take it a cook at a time. I've never been asked this question like publicly. Yeah, it just like hits your bank account one day, maybe like 2 or 3 months or something like that. So there's a good time period where you're like, yes, you know, and then you're like, wait, I still don't have a job. I don't know if this money's coming or not. I kind of like the way I'm wired, I guess, or my commitment to it. It's like I wanted to be generous with it. So I ended up donating a lot of it, giving some away to some people that I thought needed it more than me, and then made some investments with the rest of it. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Like, you kind of like, there's an expectation that you do something great with it. And you also have that pressure on yourself that you want to make the most of it. It has this reputation, you kind of have this expectation, and you want to do something epic with it. The false kind of narrative is like, you think you have to do it straight away. Like, it's like, all right, like, one MasterChef, I need to like start a restaurant next week. There's this like weird time pressure thing, but it's also like, nah, just take your time, grow, learn, like keep progressing, stay committed to it. Yeah, taking that time pressure off for me was like a big win. There's like offers, there's like people like, hey, do you want to, I could be a manager, I could do this, I could do that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna chill. Just let time take your time to make good decisions. And so I took that approach. I kind of was like, all right, I'll do what's in front of me. I'll take offers if they align and they're fun and cool opportunities. But there wasn't kind of like, I guess you can have like this scarcity type mindset of like, this is going to disappear one day. This is your moment that, you know, I strike while the iron's hot type thing. But I'm like, I kind of just stuck to my guns, and I'm like, I'll keep building on this. I'll keep growing. I'll keep learning. I want to keep doing something hopefully like even greater in the future and make a bigger impact on the world in some way. So that's kind of what I've always been committed to doing in my life, and I guess MasterChef's a moment along that journey, and hopefully I can keep helping people, sharing stories, and doing that. So that's kind of what I'm committed to doing. I'm trying to figure out what I can say or what I can't say, but yeah, heaps of like thought, energy, heart and soul. It's been 2 years, so it's like a 2-year kind of, actually it's been more than that. I reckon I kind of had this idea years ago, and it was just like a dream that maybe I'll do, but now it's like in MasterChef, definitely skipped a lot of steps and time and opportunities to making that happen. So that's really exciting. But ones I would love to do is like, I definitely love the whole TV entertainment side. So would love to keep, you know, doing something like that, travel, and yeah, creating experiences for people. So yeah, that's what I'd love to do. Just diving headfirst into the culinary world, like learning as much as I can. Definitely have a huge respect for chefs, food, people on TV, what you guys do. Like, there's so much work that goes into it, because I'm like slowly dipping my toe into it, and I'm like, and it's a lot of fun. Like, absolutely love it. I feel like I'm a, you know, baby in this brand new world, and I'm learning a lot. I've always felt like I've been very fortunate in life. My parents were born and raised in Fiji. My grandparents, like, they kind of had nothing. Like, we come like sugarcane farming, and then like my grandpa built a business. He was like an orphan, like built a business, like migrated to Australia to give us opportunities to like have a better life and like have dreams of like cooking. You know, they were never allowed to think like that. They had to be like, no, you work, provide first. I kind of grew up in a world where like I could kind of do what I wanted. Like I could follow my passions in life. I could like do youth work and help kids and like not do work because of money. Like I always felt so fortunate for that, because they always kind of were like, yeah, do what you love. Like Dad was like, quit your job, like go do cook. You know, it's like, you're Indian, like study, like be a doctor, like where's engineering? Like, but he was like, yeah, I always felt so empowered to like follow the passion. I feel like so blessed, like so fortunate, and so humbled that I get to do it. Very grateful for the platform, but I'm also grateful for just, I think the experience genuinely changed me. Like I always thought I was like an okay cook. I never thought I'd be like a, you know, like a good cook, you know what I mean? Like, but when you have like the best chefs in Australia kind of like eat your food and like pay it compliments, and be like, this is incredible. Like they'd pay money for it. You gotta be like, damn, like this is crazy. I didn't think the food was that good, you know. Always tried to share it with people as much as I can, and to be able to do it with everything now, like, is really special. Like I feel like so blessed, like so fortunate. Yeah, my advice to people or anyone really kind of trying to pursue their passions or gets the opportunity, it's kind of like, number one would be like, look after yourself, do the work, and look after yourself the most. Everyone will always be trying to get your time, trying to get something from you. It's like, yeah, all of that stuff's like good and important, but it's like, don't let it change you too much. Be the best version of you. Spend time with people you love the most. For me, which would be my wife, my family. I think everything I ever do will always revolve around that. And then everything else from there, like, is good. Because it's like, what's the point of having everything else if you lose, like, all those things you love the most? That would be my advice, is like, love yourself and love the people closest to you. And I think you'll have a good life. You'll love it. Yeah.